So this is the slicer. So the slicer is going to be unplugged when you come to work at it. So you'll want to plug in the cord just to the outlet right above the slicer. So I'll first point out some buttons before we get started, and I'll show you how to operate it. So on this logo that says globe, this is where your start and your stop are. So the green is the start button, the red is the stop button, and then this big control knob, it has a ton of different numbers on it. Don't pay attention to the numbers because this knob does turn all the way around. So for example, 4 is not going to mean the same thing because that 4 can turn like 5 times. So for this knob, what it controls is the width of what's going to be cut. So it can have like a 2-inch cut, like a 1/2 inch cut. So you'll see the distance here where my hand's at is getting bigger and getting smaller. So whenever you come to find it, this knob should be turned all the way to the right where the blade is just a little bit underneath this top piece of metal. So if my hand were to brush across it, it's a safety mechanism where my hand's not going to get cut. So whenever you're using the slicer, some people are kind of scared to use this just because of the blade and getting cut. So that's why we do wear these cut gloves. They're just right above the work tables. So we'll put those on first. So whenever you're using it, you want to make sure you have a glove that goes on your hand, just a plastic latex glove first. And then you'll put on the cut glove. And then you'll want to put on another glove over the cut glove. So it's a lot of gloves, but it's for safety. So we'll have that glove on. Some people choose to wear 2 gloves depending if you're kind of nervous, you've never used it before, or depending if you're left or right-handed. That may play a part in that. So we have our cut glove on. So to turn on the slicer, we first want to figure out what our width is. So this arm right here is where you'll set the food. So the food gets set right where my hand is, and this piece lowers depending on when the food's getting cut. It's getting a little bit smaller. So I have my blade at the width that I want it, and then to turn it on, you'll just hit the start button, and your food's gonna be right there. So you can either have one hand here. You may not even need a hand here because it's just gonna hold your food. So we'll just run it across, and you can have 2 hands on it. Make sure whatever hand your cut glove's on, that's the hand that's coming in contact with the blade. Or you can just use one hand like that. And then to turn it off, we'll just use that red stop button. So now that our product is all cut, we'll want to put this back in the safety position, turning it all the way to the right. And this is where our product is going to be falling just right here. So you remove your product, whatever you were cutting, and now it's time to clean it. So I think it's easier depending, I've cleaned this a lot of times, so if you want, you can leave on your cut glove. Sometimes I think it's harder for me to actually grab what I'm trying to work with. So for cleaning it, you have to take off this large piece right here. There's just a knob on the back of it, and you'll unscrew it all the way. And it just lifts right out to clean this piece of equipment. And this is the black knob that I was mentioning. So when you're done cleaning it, it just fits right back into place, and you'll just screw it tight. So you can run this through the dishwasher, or you can put it in the 3-compartment sink and clean it. So before we start cleaning, you want to make sure you unplug the slicer. So to clean the blade first, you'll want to remove, I just kind of call it this black box. What it's actually for is to sharpen the blade. So there's this black knob I'm going to unscrew, and you'll want to unscrew it all the way, and it's going to come off, and that's just this black knob. Set it down, and then this whole sharpener, this black box, just slips right off. And then there's a silver knob you'll just want to unscrew all the way. Set it down. And this is the part where maybe you want to wear a cut glove. I think it's kind of harder, but you'll just want to grab onto the top of the blade cover and at the bottom, and the cover just lifts up all the way. And then you'll see the actual surface of the blade. So the blade cover can be put in the dishwasher, or you can wash it in the 3-compartment sink. And then now we'll have to actually clean the blade. So to clean the blade, you'll want to lower the knob a little bit so you can get just enough to fit a rag in between the blade, to fit it just kind of in between, and you'll want to turn the blade around so you're getting the front and the back surface of the blade. So then when you're done cleaning the blade, you'll want to lower that blade back into the safety position so you can't see that blade anymore. And then we'll want to put back the cover for the blade. And then we'll first start with that silver knob, screwing it back into place. And then we'll put back on this black box. So to put it back on, there's these 2 sharpeners, and this piece just fits right into the base where that black screw goes. So it may take a couple of times to get it, and then when you do get it, it should just lock right into place, and it shouldn't be super forceful. Then you'll take the black screw and screw it back into place till it's screwed in all the way. And then before you walk away from the slicer, just want to make sure that it's already unplugged and that the blade is back into the safety position where if you were to run your hand across it, you're not going to get cut. And that is our slicer.